Okay, today we're looking at how to separate sand and, let's say, salt. When I have a mixture of sand and salt, how do I separate the two? Most of the times our parents will send us to go and buy salt. When we are coming back, we play on the way and the salt will fall down mixed with the sand. So as a science student, how are you going to separate that salt from the sand before your mother sees or knows that you have spoiled the salt she has sent you? So what we have here, I have my salt, this is the sand. So what I need to do now is to try to mix the salt and the sand, as we all can see. So I have the sand over here. I think this is all right. Then this is my salt. I add the salt to it. I think this is all right. So this is what actually happened when I was on my way home. The salt fell and then it was mixed with the sand. So I collected everything and brought it back home. Here's what I have: a mixture of what? Salt and sand. Now, to separate salt from sand, I cannot pick out the sand from the salt. It is not possible. So what I need to do now, because salt is soluble in water, I just need to add water to it. So you can see I've added my water. Then I stir it, stir the mixture. I continue stirring until the salt completely dissolves in the water. When the salt dissolves in the water, I'll have to separate the salt from the sand through a process. So what I'm just doing now is what we call dissolution in science. Dissolution, the process by which the salt dissolves in water. So can we look at this? I don't think I have salt in the sand as at now. Let me stir a little more. Okay, so now somebody may ask, now that the salt has dissolved in the water, the sand is there, what do I do next? I can go in for decantation, which is pouring away of the water, leaving the sand behind. But with that one, I'll still have water under. So let me go in for filtration, where I don't have filter paper, although, but I think this will work. So let me filter it. If I have this here, I'll just pour my contents like what we are seeing. So we can see the salt water is in the container and the sand is not even coming. Okay, I think this is all right. So now I have the sand left here. The salt is in the water. What do I do next to get my salt from the water? I just have to evaporate this. So first of all, I went for dissolution. That is dissolving the salt in the water by adding water to both the mixture of salt and sand. Stirred it vigorously so that the salt dissolves in the water. I filtered it using my filter. It can be filter paper or anything that separates liquid from solid. So I have this now. This is my salt solution. I therefore have to evaporate what I'm having over here, but I don't have sand here, so I need source of heat. Bring the So this is my source of heat. I have my fire here. Try to I'm trying to fan it because the heat is what I want, not the ashes. So I now have to put my salt solution on fire, but this is too much solution. It will take time for the water to evaporate. So let me just use a sample of it. Let me have this here and then just put a sample on the fire. So this is just a sample of what I'm having. Let's see if the water will evaporate, leaving the salt behind. So I put this on fire. Then I make sure I have enough source of heat so that my solution boils faster for me to obtain my salt from the salt solution. With this process, which is evaporation, the water will evaporate, leaving the salt behind. I'll not get the water again. But if I want to get the water and the salt, then I have to go in for another process. I will not use evaporation, but I'll rather go in for distillation, where I'll have both the salt and the water. But with this method, what I'm doing here, the water will surely evaporate, leaving the salt behind. So as you can all see, I am still fanning, and we all know water boils at a temperature of 100 degrees. So it is obvious that the temperature is not yet 100 degrees. Well, it's like my water has started boiling. I want the water to evaporate. Oh, that is it. My water is boiling. It is boiling. So we can see this is vaporization in science, the process by which water changes from the liquid state to the gaseous state when heat is applied. So that is my heat under, and you can see my water boiling. So now the water is changing from its liquid state to the gaseous state. That is water vapor, called steam. The dirt you see on top here is as a result of the sun. So let me try to collect the dirt. The dirt is running away. I'm just waiting patiently. I'm just waiting patiently for my water to evaporate so that I can have my salt. The first process is dissolution. Add water to the mixture of sand and salt. Stir it for the salt to dissolve in the water. Then we'll go for filtration. That is the separation of the solid from the liquid. Using your filter paper, you do your filtration. Then the next is evaporation. 3 processes are involved: dissolution, filtration, and evaporation. And that is what is happening here. So now we can see what we have over here. That the water is totally gone. And I have my salt left. It is my salt which is left behind. So what we have here, as you all can see, well, let me take it. So we can clearly see that what I have here is salt. This is the salt I have gotten. So this was the salt which was missing, or it was mixed up with the sand, which I couldn't separate from the sand. Now I can see I'm having my entire salt without sand. So I replace this back, put it down, so that my mother wouldn't come and then suspect that I've destroyed her salt. So this is pure salt, as we all can see. The process was evaporation to make the water disappear, leaving the salt behind.